Not so long ago, in fact, just a couple of days ago, with flections of anger and blare of certainty, we did it. We showed that Jesus. Yeah, he failed us. He totally didn't do what was promised. He did not do what we expected. He wasn't the Messiah that we wanted. He didn't pull together an army to overthrow our oppressors. He didn't rescue us. He didn't sort out injustice. He didn't make the baddies pay. He didn't fix everything. He didn't make all the broken and the bad stuff go away. He didn't make everything right for us. I mean, we're totally the victims here, right? Yeah, total failure. But we showed him. We fixed it. We nailed him. Yeah, we did it. We really, really did it. We did what? What did we do? What have we done? What? Shh. Listening. Ears peeled, hearts open. Maybe this is where today begins, with a question. In asking, a new sliver of dawn is breaking. Midwifing women are present, holding and nurturing and companioning woman presence, anointing, blessing, perfuming and sanctifying life's transition women presence. With one another, together, they witness something new is come to birth, and they don't have the words to contain it. We hear their witness is wordless, yet we still tell of it. What is it that we tell? Do we just tell the story of what is said took place? Does it provoke us to tell of how it puzzles us and causes us to wonder more deeply? Does this unresolved, not really ending, that has evolved over time into faith statements of certainty, does that cause us to want to tell of our questioning of such things, to want to unstitch and disclaim? Now, if we understand that this particular collection of Jesus stories has come together and woven together to inform and to persuade and convince those who were the audience of Mark, to convince them about Jesus' significance, to end like this is kind of weird, don't you think? Really, really surprising. And if you're one of those people who starts reading a book, likes to check out the end to see if it's got a good ending before you decide to read it, I'm not sure if this is one you would have continued, because it doesn't really conclude. It doesn't really end. It must be so frustrating. What just happens? We might scratch our heads wondering, what on earth were they thinking? But this might be the point, because ending this way, it is suggested, because it concerns us and puzzles us. It provokes us to go right back to the beginning again, to start over the story, in modern speak, to engage in an iterative process. You see, I think there's something for us in that type of provocation. Because if we've faithfully followed the story, then we've been with the whole plot of Jesus as according to Mark, the main character who's done everything we expected before he well doesn't. Did we miss something? Is it him or is it us? So we go back to the beginning. And as we go back over the same story, the same as we do in our churches, we enact over and over again the story with the same ritual each year. We find each time it's just a little bit different. The way the story is, our experience of the ritual is a bit different. We're a bit different. This story doesn't seem to be a fixed in time, a fixed knowing thing. Maybe that's why we call it revelation, because the story keeps revealing itself in new ways to us. It keeps revealing us in new ways. Well, as it transpires, there are actually 3 possible endings to Mark's Gospel. This is the earliest. The other 2 endings, which are added later, are more certain. They make strong statements and claims. They tie up the story and make the whole thing credible for later thinking and later audiences. To leave the Gospel with this earliest ending is, after all, rather weak. It opens up all sorts of opportunities for random thinking that may evade the certainty of control. But given the story that we hear today, the amazed incomprehension that silences the witnessing women. Just an aside, have you noticed that each gospel ends with its women who are witnessing in this way? But given the story of this day, I happen to think this is the best ending ever. It's my favouriteest ending, just to quote my granddaughter. Why, may you ask? Because their eyewitness incomprehension, the fear and amazement, gives us permission to be amazed and terrified by all the things that we don't know, by our not knowing. And it affirms that not knowing and not being certain of this resurrection thing as it's been come to be known, to be not certain of that may just be okay as well. Not knowing is part of life. And you see, not knowing draws us to ask more deeply, to inquire, and it opens us so we can continue to grow. This ending Easter story, this drama of the gospel, it features characters whose behaviour is far from ideal. The behaviour they exhibit, we imagine, would be the very means by which they would be spurned and cast out and excluded. Betraying Judas Iscariot, denying Peter, scattering and abandoning disciples, and next week, a doubting Thomas. Yet without them, this new life-birthing day wouldn't be as it is. Each has place and each is included. It's almost as if we need all of those parts for the story to be made whole. So we who have come to this place, who have come with our questions, who are aware that we are full of uncertainties, of the ways that we have betrayed, that we deny, that we flee and abandon, that we are shadowed by doubt. It may be that we see these as all the reasons that we don't and we can't possibly belong. Today would suggest they may be the very means by which we know we're included. And not knowing how might cause us to ask and to listen with ears peeled and eyes open. And in this sliver of new daylight, we learn the time is now. It is always now that which is new, that which brings life and us to life, can be and is being birthed in us.